Okay, Aaron, everything sports on your table this morning, my friend.
Yes, without a doubt. Very good morning to you, Rufai. It's always a pleasure. And Doctor, good morning to you. Good morning. And now let's get started with Europe's elite competition and football's greatest club competition, as it is actually talking about the UEFA Champions League. Yesterday, full of explosive action and, more importantly, fireworks left, right, and center. Results actually came in as the last 16 were actually selected, and they booked a place in the final 16 of the UEFA Champions League. Bayern Munich having a convincing win. Atletico Madrid also booking the place. Inter Milan, who had all to play for yesterday at the San Siro in Italy, failed to deliver on the night, even with all their star power. Unfortunately, they came short. Real Madrid certainly taking the initiative, and 2 goals, a brace from Karim Benzema, ensuring that the greatest club in football went through and didn't fall behind, same as their the team they played against, Mönchengladbach, for the very first time since the 90s. They also booked a place in the UEFA Champions League last 16. Same as Porto. Manchester City had already qualified. Yesterday was a dead rubber game. Now, moving on to some of the, that particular group was the group of death, with Real Madrid third before the game was played yesterday, and thanks to the victory and thanks to that man Karim Benzema, the French international, he was able to stir his team to top of the group, and that meant that they will be seeded for the next round of fixtures, same as Mönchengladbach also. Now, looking at those teams that have qualified, the 16 teams that have qualified for the UEFA Champions League closely, we can actually see the likes of Atalanta, Atletico de Madrid, not forgetting the likes of Barcelona, Bayern Munich, the list goes on, Chelsea and the Rijks, Juventus, which will be blockbuster. But more importantly, where the fails that actually came, because some teams, by virtue of not living up to expectation or probably rising to the occasion, they've actually been demoted to the UEFA Europa League, which is the second tier of European club football. If they can actually help us with that slide there, certainly says that the likes of Ajax Amsterdam, Club Brugge, very notorious Manchester United, who have actually lost $8.6 million by not qualifying for the round of 16. Just by virtue of not qualifying, they've actually seen the deficit of £8.6 million, I beg your pardon. Then not forgetting Olympiacos, Dynamo Kyiv, RB Salzburg, and Shakhtar Donetsk, all demoted to the UEFA Europa League. Matches will be played later on today. Now let's actually press it further as it actually stands right now. This man, Paul Pogba, as it stands, they've held current talks between himself, his agent, and the manager of Manchester United. He's been embattled. He's been unsettled at Manchester United for quite a long time, and it's been back and forth. And the man who was a record buyer at the time might finally get his wish to leave the club in January. Whether or not, if he will be agreed in time before the January transfer window closes, is left to be seen. All right, for all the brevity of time, let's actually talk on something very key. This man, everyone knows him, Diego Armando Maradona, a legend of the game, and even in his death, he's still stirring a lot of controversy, because right now reports actually reveal that he left a fortune, a sizable fortune of 37 million. Those are some of it. That is his wife and some of his children out there. And at the moment, everyone seems to be scrambling for a piece of the pie, because reports have it that emanated from a meeting yesterday in Buenos Aires in Argentina that said that Diego Armando Maradona had a will in 2012 and scrapped it in 2016. And at the moment, he had lucrative deals before he died with Puma, with Adidas, with Coca-Cola. He had houses in Dubai, in Buenos Aires, in the States. He had luxury cars, all totaling 37 million. And those are his lovely 2 children that we know of. If they can actually help us with the family tree, there are quite a lot of people scrambling for this. Officially, he has 1 wife and notable mistresses, some even unknown, and some of the children are just there. You can see them there. All right, so you see the official keys being recorded there, and the unofficial ones are even detailed, and some are not even known as we speak. And by Argentina law, real laws, they say that provided you are a child and you can prove that you're a child of Diego Armando Maradona, you get a portion of that particular sizable fortune. So almost everyone will be scrambling for this. His sisters, his 5 sisters, are also in the running to get their own piece of the legend's pie. pie that he left behind. At the moment, it's a lot, and it's been a mess in Argentina. How it will be settled ultimately is left to be seen. I'm sure they'll be hitting the courts very, very soon to determine a lot of things. Who are legitimate children, who are not, and all that. It's just a mess right now. It has begun. The lawyers are beginning to talk to family members so they know how to begin to apportion the wealth to everyone that is expected to get something, no matter how small. Now, before I come to you guys quickly, a tweet was actually put out some months ago. We brought it here on the sports update, talking about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang criticizing the Gambian FA for keeping them and detaining them at the airport. He used the word hostage, and CAF, talking about Africa's governing body in football, have said that this particular tweet was degrading and very, very insultive, and they fined him $10,000 for doing that. But the question now is this: if you look at it closely, with the pictures that actually follow, these people were kept in the airport. They landed at the Gambian airport by 11:30 p.m. and as at 4:37 a.m. the following day, like Aubameyang actually detailed on his Instagram, they were still at the airport because they claimed that they didn't have certifications of COVID-19, which the Gabonese claimed they all did have, and the players were all sleeping at the airport up until about about 6 a.m., 6:30 thereabout. They were not happy. They went on to lose that particular game and also lost the bid to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations.
Okay, Dr. Bati, after you.
Aaron, well, you talked about a legend, Diego Maradona. I don't know whether you would like to comment also on the passing of Paolo Rossi, the Azzurri legend, the World Cup 1982 in Spain, hero, who won Golden Ball, Ballon d'Or, Golden Foot, and all of that. I read somewhere that he passed on yesterday at the age of 64. Yes, and he's quite a phenomenal, football player on the pitch with AC Milan, with Verona, and then also, of course, as a player for his country. And then quickly, if you also talk about Zinedine Zidane, he's been quoted as saying he doesn't want to become the Ferguson of Real Madrid. But one would think that he's doing very well there in Real Madrid, but the transfer window, he may be moving, if you have any comment on that.
All right, first of all, talking about Zinedine Zidane, he flutters to deceive. The truth is this: I don't think he will stay as long as Sir Alex Ferguson. I don't think he will stay a fraction as long as Sir Alex Ferguson. In his first stint, or in his first missionary journey, as some people would like to call it, he was exceptionally successful. He was phenomenal, to say the least. He won the unprecedented 3 consecutive UEFA Champions League. His second stint have been blighted with inconsistencies that a lot of people are beginning to scratch their head that maybe, just maybe, what happened in the first outing was a huge fluke. But unfortunate for him, things are not really going on his way this season. No thanks to COVID, with the packed schedule, he's been having to chop and change so many times that he himself doesn't know his starting 11. He's not sure of the players to actually field in the right places in key matches. But one thing was certain: he always rises in the big occasions like he did yesterday. They needed that win. Real Madrid have never played Europa League football. It will be travesty for Real Madrid to play Europa League football. And yesterday, thanks to Karim Benzema's brace, they were able to scale through. For the man who petified the Azuris in the 80s, I must actually say it was a very, very big blow, not just to the Italian football, because he was a darling of AC Milan, like you mentioned, a darling of AS Roma, but also to the Italian football. They've been mourning the passing of this man, and unfortunate that we're beginning to see one too many deaths of footballing legends in recent times to different ailments, and some are trying to pin it down on what did they do in their heydays that might have contributed to them passing quite early, because life expectancy is way higher than it is here. So dying at 64 is quite early, if you'd ask me.
Right. Thank you so much, Aaron. I just wanted to give a quick word of advice for all the people fighting for Diego Armando Maradona's property. I think it's going to be from the song of Chief Commander. For the first time, I'll quote the Chief Commander, Ebenezer Obey, that sings, and I quote, "Vanity upon vanity, all is vanity, vanity."